Okay, going back to your brain. Okay, I'm going to tell you a couple things about how to be a good user of your brain. I have no shame. There's no like, I don't care what you do with your bodies. I think you should be able to do whatever you want with your bodies. There's no shame in what you choose. But I want you guys to be a good user. I want you to have a good user's manual for how to deal with your body. So the first thing I'm going to tell you is about alcohol. Alcohol is incredibly dangerous. It's dangerous for a couple of reasons. First of all, remember it's a dopamine. So why shouldn't you drink while you're on Prozac?
Because you're both depressants.
Well, yeah, that's what they tell you. That's not the real reason. I mean, not
Because your brain is going to function even less because they're both depressants, so it's like, oh, I don't have to work.
Sort of. Who's my dump truck? You're just on vacation. You know the dump truck that would normally clean up that chemical? When you drink and get drunk, you have way too much of that in your brain. What happens if she goes on vacation and I drink?
You're cluttered.
You're going to get drunk really fast and really dangerously because there's no glial cell to clean up after it. And it builds up. So what happens when you get drunk is it starts from the outside of your brain and goes all the way in, is that basically that chemical builds up between your nerve cells. And so if you have all these things build up between your nerve cells, it kind of just doesn't work. It starts with your cortical region and works your way back. So the first thing you'll see is your memory, your critical thinking skills, you know, the things that stop you from saying X, Y, Z. Followed by your parietal lobe, which is your movement. And you're going to start to like stumble and have a hard time. Followed by your eyes, which is why you have blurry vision. The last place that alcohol goes, the last place that it builds up is actually right here in your thalamus and hypothalamus. Do you remember what it does in your, what those two parts of your brain do?
Fight or flight?
Fight or flight and basic breathing reflexes.
Which will stop.
So your basic breathing, your basic reflexes are going to be the last to be affected by anything. Your brain's very protective. It's right in the middle, and it's the last to be affected by anything. But it will be affected if all other things are affected. By the time it gets there, you're not thinking all that straight.
You black out.
Okay, so here's what your brain's going to do when it thinks you're going to die. So in the case of the water, your brain thinks you're going to die because you're not breathing. So what does it do to you?
Makes you breathe.
Well, you won't breathe. It makes you do something.
Makes you go subconscious.
Yeah, you pass out.
Yeah.
Your brain goes, screw you, you pass out.
Yeah.
It's taken over because you're done.
Yep.
And then you
start breathing.
start breathing. What happens if you don't eat for a very long time?
You'll pass out.
You'll pass out. Your brain will go, I don't know what your problem is, but we're going to pass out, reset, start over.
Right.
What happens if you don't sleep for a long time?
You're gonna pass out.
You're going to pass out. Why do you pass out?
Because your brain is taking over to do the things it needs to do to survive.
Your brain thinks you are in imminent danger of dying. That's the only reason you pass out. So as the alcohol content gets closer to the hypothalamus, your brain's going to start to get concerned. So your brain's going to make you pass out because you are in imminent danger of dying if you impair your thalamus and hypothalamus. Problem with this scenario is it takes about 20 minutes for alcohol to get from your stomach to your brain. So what if you just had a shot?
You're going to be passed out for a while.
Hopefully. What happens when it gets to your thalamus and hypothalamus?
You're gonna die.
You're going to die. Now, you're not going to die of something that we're going to say alcohol killed you. That's very, very rare. You can die of it usually when you don't drink and you overdrink one day. But what you're going to die of is stupid stuff. So your brain has all these reflexes that stop you from dying all the time. Like, for example, if for whatever reason I was sleeping in bed tonight and I rolled over and my head fell in a bucket of water, would I die?
Yeah. Well, no, you would
No.
wake up.
What would my brain do?
You'd wake up
My
right
brain
away.
would go, wake up, water, dying. Right? It's a reflex. My brain's not going to let me die. It's going to wake me up and get me out of the water. If I fell asleep, I don't know, I was really tired and got out of my car and fell asleep if it's 40 below. Am I?
No.
You wake up.
No, my brain's going to do, dumb, dumb, dumb. Wake up.
Get up and go
Get
inside.
up.
Or go somewhere warm.
Right. What happens if it's impaired your reflexes?
You're gonna lay there.
You're not going to wake up. You know people who die by choking on their own vomit? Is that going to happen to you if you're not drinking?
No.
No, your brain will stop you. Right? Are you going to drown in 2 inches of water?
No.
No, not unless you don't have any reflexes. Are you going to fall asleep in the middle of winter outside?
No.
No, your brain will stop you from doing all these dumb things. But if you've impaired your reflexes, your brain will not stop you because it's impaired, and you will die. So, note to you, if you are with somebody who's passing out, it's very serious. They could stop breathing, so just sit there and hit them every now and then. The most likely scenario is that they'll stop breathing. That's the next to go. Your heart is last, but if you start breathing, your heart stops. That's kind of how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
So they are pretty in danger of breathing. If you actually listen to breathing, it's very irregular. When
You'll hear
music while you're passing
gurgling.
out. Yeah, it's no joke.
And when you hear gurgling, it's your body trying to breathe.
Right. You just hit them. Bottom of the foot is a good place to hit them. But you need to make sure they don't die. One of the things that makes sleep apnea so incredibly dangerous. Sleep apnea is very dangerous. You know what that is?
Having
when you
trouble
stop breathing.
breathing in your sleep.
Right. It's basically, and it's usually weight related, but not always. Basically, your airway closes while you're sleeping, and your brain wakes you up. And it wakes you up all night. It's not good for you. It makes you tired. But if you sleep apnea and are drunk,
Very bad.
Right.
very, very bad. That's, people that die in their sleep of natural causes, it's not usually,
Natural causes.
it's usually that. It's usually the brain didn't wake them up for something dumb so they could be alive. So, sleep apnea, very, very dangerous. So this is the funny thing. I want to kill, anybody in the med tech program? Oh, wait, help me out here. Talk about dumb doctors. Okay, dumb.
I've known some.
Okay, let me tell you dumb. Now, I've known a number of people that have had surgery that are highly have sleep apnea, very bad sleep apnea. And Sid has very bad sleep apnea. And when she goes into surgery, she comes out of surgery, going to stay in the hospital. She's got this thing called a CPAP. Do they put it on her?
No.
No.
They have just given her a ton of anesthesia, followed by a ton of morphine, followed by a ton of stuff to make her brain do nothing at all. And then they don't give her her CPAP. Is this a good idea?
No.
And then I go, give her a CPAP. She's fine. She's on a monitor. I go, why is this a good idea? Why is this a good plan? It's like I have to be a real jerk to get him to do it. Should I be a real jerk to have to get him to do it?
No.
No. Is that not ridiculous?
Yeah.
Okay, whenever I have surgery, this is hilarious. I take Concerta, which is a pretty strong stimulant.
Yeah.
Yeah, what does the hospital try to give me every time I have surgery? Before I go?
The same.
When I was in the hospital, they're like, here's your Concerta. I'm like, I'm going in for surgery in 2 hours. They're like, you need to take your pills. I go, it's a stimulant. You're about to put me to sleep, correct? Is this a good idea? I have to sign papers against medical advice papers.
Oh boy.
Is this an intelligent idea?
No.
No, there's nothing about this that's an intelligent idea.
Well, it's kind of like protocol. Like they have. You're that.
You're dying. Right? It goes back to, are we thinking through? So being good users of your brain, realize alcohol is very, very dangerous. Drink it if you want. Get drunk if you want. Just have a backup team. And realize that if the person's getting gurgling, you probably should call.
Well, I just actually learned that we had a drug administration at military this weekend, and we were going over some drugs, number ones for tablets, and the officer was pretty much just telling all the signs and everything like that. And if you hear gurgling, that's one of the signs saying that they're not breathing, they're trying to breathe, and they can't.
Take it seriously. Other drugs, first of all, know what you're taking. The most dangerous drugs that you can take often are the ones that come from your doctor. The single most addictive drug right now, the biggest problem we have with drug addictions isn't a street drug, it's morphine.
Morphine.
And oxycodone. So doctors give us drugs, and we assume they're safe. They're incredibly addictive. Do not take any painkiller longer than you have to. It's no joke. So, really want you to know, what are these drugs doing to your system? There's a couple drugs I'm just going to warn you about. Most